be a lot warmer today than it has been the past couple of weeks. There's still snow on the ground, but the shade is not, it's still pretty cold, but when you step into the sun, it's still kind of cold. Okay, Savannah is at a wedding right now, like shooting a wedding, and I'm home today, so I told her I would put together that shelf thing. We got that shelf for like $35 at Dirt Cheap. I just hope all the parts are there. Seems like a pretty simple operation. In an effort to make this episode not be completely boring with me putting together furniture, I'm just going to go ahead and speed this up through video magic and such. Okay, that wasn't too hard. The drill really helps. Pro tip, get a Allen wrench head for your drill. It'll make projects much faster. All right, I have a couple of things that I want to work on for drums, and since Savannah's not here, I figured it'd be a good idea to do it now, just so that I'm not annoying anybody in the house besides myself and maybe the cats. All that to be said, I'm going to be playing those drums right now. All right, well, I'm waiting for that to pull up. Figured I would show you the setup. So just basic 4 lights, 2 NAND lights up top. They're only like at 30%, mostly to just save power. And honestly, I don't need the extra light. It's more of a look thing than anything else. And then I got my trusty Quasar light tubes right there. I think it looks pretty good. I really like the like white light tube kind of look, just because I don't know, it looks clean and simplistic, and I feel like it really draws your attention to what's going on the drums with just the lights being clean, simple, and bright. All right, like always, I'm gonna have to turn you that way for shorts, you know. So me being stupid, I had a glass of water, and I was recording something, and I'm like, hey, that actually sounds really cool when I hit the stick to the glass of water, and I was doing it on the snare drum, and it completely and then I got the bright idea to play with the water on there, and now got water all over me, all over the... I'm gonna have to clean some stuff up, and I'm gonna have to take this drum apart so that nothing rusts. The cup sounded amazing though, like. probably one of my favorite sounds that I've ever come up with. I'm really curious to see what that cup sounds like. Let's see how worth it actually was. I hate that I broke a cup, but that sounds amazing. I love that. And with the water on the drum, it sounds The real question is, in light of what happened, would I do it again? And honestly, I think I would. All right, now I gotta take the drum apart. The funny part is I actually need a new drum head anyway, so this is kind of a good excuse to do that. Look how wet this is. Can you see? Can you see that? It's like a full cup of water. Okay. Let the surgery commence. I don't know if the water is actually gonna hurt the drum or not, but I'm just kind of going at it from a better safe than sorry kind of. Ugh, this thing was stuck to it. A better safe than sorry kind of attitude. And I mean, it's been like a long time coming for me to actually switch the drum head out anyway, so about time. I don't have any like specific method when I'm taking the drum head off. I literally just unscrew whatever lugs closest to me. Some people are pretty meticulous when it comes to that stuff, like I don't really care. Now for tuning is different, but for taking a head off, I mean, I don't care if this head sounds good or bad or if it's I'm replacing it, so. Giving it a nice hug, making it feel better. You know, funny enough, I only see water on the outside. I don't see any water on the inside. Here, let me show you. So that right there, you know, there's a good amount of water on that rim, and even on this head, you can kind of see. You can see the water. But on the inside, dry as a bone. The outside's a little wet, but the inside is what counts, and that's dry, so I'm just gonna have to dry the outside of the drum, and that's it. That's nice. Okay, I need a towel now. What are you doing? Glad to know that he's not scared of the drums anymore. The first time I played drums, he hid under the bed for like 2 hours after I was done. Nice to know that he's adjusting well. You know, I don't actually think I mentioned what I was working on or practicing. Which is funny, I was working on my right foot. Like I wanna just build some more fast twitch muscles, just to be able to do like things if I need to, and that's what I was doing. That's why there were an intense amount of bass drum notes in that practice session. Okay, so it's been a few hours. I've been sitting here getting some work done. My drum is currently on the floor drying out. I wanted to come clean about something that happened to me today. So as many of you know, these are the interfaces that I use to record everything that you see on this YouTube channel, and those are the two interfaces that I use to get like my work done for drums and just everything. Like they're the centerpiece of my workflow in my studio. And the thing that is a close second to that, as far as like the importance of like centerpieceness, are my plugins. And one of the companies that I use for my plugins is Slate Digital. And for those of you that don't know, they have something called the All Access Pass. I think it's like $10 a month. And I use it for like everything. Like all my reverbs are Verb Suite Classics, and I use the virtual mix rack on my snare and my kick drums to just help tighten everything up. I do use stock plugins both in Ableton and in Pro Tools, and I also use a host of different Waves plugins, but the icing on the cake is going to be Slate Digital, specifically Verb Suite Classics for reverbs and stuff like that. Now, you might be wondering why I'm bringing up Slate, why I'm specifically singling them out, and it's because I had a issue with Slate Digital on my computer that it took me like 2 hours to fix. For anybody that uses software, you know sometimes it just randomly doesn't work, and there are steps and methods that I do that have worked, and my fellow coworkers or other musicians have done that typically work when we're trying to problem solve for software not working or just stuff not showing up. So I actually had 2 issues today. One of them being my interfaces, they showed up on my laptop and on my sessions, both in Pro Tools and Ableton, but there was no audio passing through. And I tried power cycling the computer, I tried power cycling the interfaces, and nothing happened. I ended up having to take the interfaces back to default settings, and that ended up working. So what I think might have happened, even though I checked this, something might have been muted in one of the channels or soloed in one of the channels, and that probably caused that issue. Reverting back to the default settings for the routing ended up working for that's that issue. But like I said, there was 2 issues. There wasn't just one issue. And the second issue was with my Slate plugins. For some reason, my Slate Verb Suite Classics and the Virtual Mix Track just weren't showing up on my computer. The first thing that I thought was maybe there's a new update, and the current version that I have on on my laptop, it's just obsolete. So maybe I just need to update my Slate plugins. So I ended up updating all of my Slate plugins, which took less time than you think. It took like 10 minutes, which I was shocked. I thought it was gonna be hours. Anyway, I updated all my Slate plugins, and that didn't work. So then I dove into Pro Tools and Ableton to see if the VSTs and stuff were working for Ableton to use VSTs, and everything was enabled. And the reason that I checked my Pro Tools and my Ableton session is that way I know that it's not just a software specific thing as far as like Pro Tools communicating with Slate Digital or Ableton communicating with Slate Digital. I knew that it was something bigger than that, and that kind of eliminated me having to dive into Pro Tools or Ableton for hours and hours. After I updated all of my plugins, then nothing was working still, so I just figured that I would power cycle everything one more time just to see if that might have been the issue, and after that ended up working. Like, they magically just showed up and started working. So I think the issue was my software needed to be updated and it was currently out of date. Once you download things to your computer or to your interface, sometimes you need to power cycle it and let the installation be complete that way. And I think that's what it was. So for me, whenever I run into issues, primarily with software, I'm going to do these few things in the following steps. First, is everything plugged in and turned on? Because you'll be surprised how many times that's happened to me where my interfaces aren't showing up. And it's because I haven't plugged them in or turned them on. Once I've confirmed that it's plugged in and turned on, the next thing is going to be, do I just need to power cycle it? Maybe is there something weird with my laptop? Like, I don't turn my laptop off very often, so sometimes that works. So I'll power cycle it the first time. Once I have everything booted back up, and if the problem is still there, then I'm gonna start looking for updates. Some companies are great about letting you know that like updates are coming out that you have to install in order to use their future products. Some companies aren't so great. So that's why updates is stage or step number 3 for me. And then after that, I'll try power cycling it one more time. And typically if that doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to uninstall the software and reinstall the software, because maybe a bug got into the software, or maybe something was deleted that shouldn't have been deleted that was needed for the software to function, or something weird like that. That's pretty much what I'm gonna do in a nutshell. So to kind of review, it's gonna be, is everything plugged in and turned on? Power cycle everything, check for updates, power cycle again, and if that doesn't work, uninstall the program that you're working in, Ableton, Logic, Pro Tools, whatever, and reinstall that, and hopefully that'll work. Okay, I just felt like I needed to come clean with that, because I was editing this video, and I made it seem like I literally walked in here, plugged everything in, and it just magically worked, and there was a 2-hour gap of me super frustrated trying to figure out what was going on with my Anyway, I just needed to come clean about that. Also, the drum is, I think it's dry now, so what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna pick up a new snare head tomorrow. Just, it's time. And also this one is literally falling apart like on the inside, and there's also like dents, and it's like $10 to get a new head, so I don't think I need to I don't think I need to replace the bottom head. I think it's just the top head that needs to be replaced. Bottom heads for snares I typically don't replace very often, like maybe like once a year. But it literally depends on it depends on how gently or how well the bottom head is treated. I gotta get back to editing. I'm making more shorts from the stuff that I shot today, and because I'm gonna run out. Tonight is the last short, like at 9 o'clock, that I have, so I need to I need to hurry up and make some more. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about something that I put on my snare that honestly I need to order more of, but it's probably been the best thing that like I've ever it's a huge time saver for me. So for those of you that don't know, whenever you play like snare drums or just drums in general, they detune over time as like you hit them and do rim shots, especially if you do rim shots. For the longest time I would just have to retune them midway through a song, which isn't the worst thing in the world, and honestly it teaches you how to tune drums quickly. But I got some of these guys a while back, these little things. And if you don't know what those are lug locks. There's a couple different companies that make them. These are okay, they're the Gibraltar ones, and literally they just go on the lugs of the drum. They just go on the drum like this, like that. And they just kind of sit there and prevent the lug from spinning, giving it the name a lug lock. And some companies make better ones, some companies make worse ones. Tunerfish lug locks are really good. These are like middle of the road. They're on Amazon, so you can get them pretty easily. I don't know how many are in a pack, but I do know that my Black Beauty, which has 10 lugs on top and 10 lugs on bottom, I had enough for that. So I'll put these down below if you're interested in checking them out. They work pretty well. I recommend ordering more than one pack simply because you just lose them. Like these things fall off all the time. Like behind the drum set, there's a couple of them, and at gigs I've lost them, and I've actually found them in cases and everything else. All that being said, maybe order 2 packs instead of just 1 pack. I was just editing, and they're just sitting there from me taking the drum head off my snare, and I just figured I would talk about them. I got a couple questions about it, and I honestly forgot to answer them, and this is me answering that question. I think I'm done with the shorts, so I have about a week done. So all right,